Flight boss, bitch, you know, for sure. You're now listening to the Mind of an Terry's Moon. I'm the Archangel Uriel, and I'm here to carry out God's duties and motherfucking responsibilities. And right now, we're gonna get into like some little metaphysics shit. I just got into the spirit right now, so I felt like I wanted to expound on something. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I was having like a mean conversation with a few others, and you know what I'm saying? I brought myself down to a lower level when I know I shouldn't. So whatever contracts I signed within what I was doing within that conversation, you know what I'm saying, I'm more than prepared to receive the repercussions that I'm going to receive from the karma that I did out of those contracts that I was signing by even coming down, even conversating with people about certain things, you know what I'm saying. When you can look on a person's face and discernment and can tell from an outside realm that these people are not consciously aware of certain things that you are, you're going to start feeling like you're opposing your thoughts on them, or you're arguing, or you're debating, and that's not what we're here to do, you know what I'm saying, because when we all come to an understanding and we all come as one, there won't be nothing to debate, you know what I'm saying. We'll go back to the singularity, but see, within the singularity there's always need and form of a polarity, you know what I'm saying. Just like, for an example, you have you as a one, then you join as a mate, as a polarity, to create one again. Then that one can create polarity again, and that's just like birth of kids and having sex to have kids. So just by nature, just by reality, just by the way consciousness even works, it needs a form of duality. It needs a form of that. So in this case, if we could come together as one and then create our own duality as one, then we will create something else and be in another realm of reality, in another sphere of reality. But as far as humans and the collective consciousness of animals and all that shit, I don't think we're not going to get back to that time for a long time now. See, we don't, and people don't even understand these certain concepts in a broad way to even jump on board anyway. Like, so that just lets you know the conscious wave that's going on throughout our Milky Way and our solar system. That just lets you know the level of consciousness we at. And there's only a few, which is my soul group here, that's able to wrap their heads around certain concepts that's here, but the regular human within mankind is not elevated enough to tap in to these energies that I speak of. So it's just like, there's no way to tap into that charge. You can almost look at it like there's a group of beings that's receiving a bunch of information from their antennas. Then there's a bunch of other beings that's not in the area to receive the frequencies. Just like a radio in your car. You turn it to your favorite radio station, and once you drive out of area or something like that, it start to fade. The frequency wave of that radio station start to fade and start to get incoherent and mix up with another one. And then once you start to go more into that area, that radio station fully changes into the frequency wave that you're close to. Now just imagine this as beings. You have a group of beings that's in the right area spiritually or consciously, or however you want to say it. They're in the right area because of with the direction that they took in their life, which this is why I'm gonna break down the yin and yang. You know what I'm saying? Because this all gonna make sense. Now they went the right direction in their life, then they end up taking actions into the right direction within this realm of reality. So what happens here is when you have a group of beings in a certain that located a certain area that they can receive this powerful station, this frequency wave, receive this powerful energy and this information through their antennas. You have a lot of other beings who didn't find, they may be lost, they maybe need a map, some people, most beings may have stumbled across it and got naive to what they was picking up and disregarded it, rejected it, and went another direction. And you got a lot of beings who just lost and don't know how to get to that area, or don't care to even go to that area and just like to stay content in the area they at. You have beings who travel a lot but just abstractly get it but don't understand it. You have beings who just want to stay at home all the time. And right now, talk about the yin realm. But then that get played out in the yang realm by people's actions. And the actions that they take, what actions are you taking to elevate your consciousness? Because what you're consciously aware of is a part of yang. What you're subconsciously aware of is a part of yin. Things you intuitively, psychically should already know within. And things you output and things that you set out to do and things that you see, that's yang. Now, the subconscious is the mixture of two. It's the yin and the yang. That's the unconscious is a void realm. And the more and more we understand the unconscious, the more and more we're going to be able to see things in space that we don't see. You think you just see in space, but that's because your lack of understanding of what space is. Once we start to understand more and more what space is, you're going to start seeing more and more stuff to the point that we're going to see so much stuff, it's not going to look like space at all. We're going to be closed in with so many objects that we are aware of, but we're not elevated enough. People's kundalini ain't rising enough. You know what I'm saying? People's chakras ain't lit. All their chakras ain't lit. So you have people who are unaware of this. Now, I'm talking about the yin realm. Now, the conversation I was having with these people when I was signing all these contracts is we're basically talking about yin and yang, basically, right? So in the middle of talking about yin and yang, you know what I'm saying, I'm trying to break down the broadened aspect. Now, maybe I let my Sagittarius moon come into a little too much to the point that once I start coming off like I'm teaching or preaching, and then when Aries sun kick in, like my Aries sun, it may kick in like you can't tell me nothing, and what I'm saying is law. It may throw another person off to the point that it doesn't matter what I'm saying, even if I'm speaking the utmost truth. They may not want to give me that. They may not want to give me that kind of energy feedback because of what I'm giving, because of the fire I'm giving them. Then my Leo rising, I'm expressing shit like I'm getting ready to do something. You know what I'm saying? So it's like people looking at me like, well, it's certain planets that they have that may align with me that make them want to oppose, regardless of what I'm saying. Just the energy I'm giving off. You want to go deeper into the debate and you want to go deeper into it. So for the sake of argument, you may play devil advocate within the conversation, this, that, and the third. So yeah, I get it. Believe me, I get it. But if I go around saying that, like every conversation I'm in, and then every situation I'm in, explaining my situation within I'm in the situation, people are not going to want to be around me, because then at that point nobody going to be able to talk, because I'm in the situation and I'm explaining why I'm in the situation, and I'm explaining why everybody here in this situation, to the point that the whole situation end up me just taking over the whole situation by talking, like, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I get it. You know what I'm saying? I get it. I know how to tame my fire down. I know how to calm down. So I kind of did that. But when I did that, see, that allowed me, well, that made me sign contracts. Because if I already know better, and I know what I'm supposed to do and not supposed to do, and I still do it, then I'm at a disjustice. And if I'm sitting here not practicing what I preach, and I'm telling y'all, but we all fall short. You know what I'm saying? But, so we got the ability to get back up. But my point of saying this is, like, I did that knowingly. So basically, you could come across a naive person all day. They don't know that they're doing that. If you're a person who know what you're doing, you know thyself, and you know when you unaligning yourself, and you know when you sign a contract you're not supposed to, you know better. So whatever you about to receive from that, you shouldn't even look at that in a way of, oh, why did this happen? Well, you should already know. So whatever I'm getting, I know how to deal with it. And whenever I go to the Galactic Federation of Light, when something I'm trying to get out of a contract I was in or whatever like that, and go get my esoteric lawyer, that's something I have to do, and that's something I have to deal with, and I have to take responsibility for that, physically and metaphysically. Now, the whole point of me bringing this into a yin and yang, because of the conversation we was having, is because they didn't quite understand how broad I was getting, and by me having to tame my fire and actually get on their level into actually getting into semantics and stuff like that, and instead of taking the actual subject we're in and uplift everybody in the room for we can all be on the same page, it came into a point that I have to use the debate tactics and you know what I'm saying, and use certain shit like logical absolutes and shit like, you know what I'm saying, other argument, the cosmos, you know what I'm saying, getting into different perceptions and contracts and different other programs and throwing throwing titles on people like, oh, so what are you talking about? Is you talking about it from a theist perspective, or is you talking about it from a scientific perspective? Like, you know what I'm saying? Throwing titles on people from what they're supposed to claim. And once we get into all that, that's muggy waters to me, because that's like details. I'm a Sagittarius moon. I really don't like details. So I may need a Gemini sometimes to just go over about what actually they're talking about. But I know what they're talking about as a whole, and I want to stay there. But I understand that certain people I interact with, minds is not there yet. They're still stuck in certain programs. They're still stuck on certain roads. They still got their certain path, and they're not looking at the whole map as a whole. And so I'm broadening out, looking down at the whole map, talking to a whole bunch of people within cities and within states, and I'm sitting here trying to talk to you like you a person who next to me, that we can sit here and talk about globes together. But I have to realize I'm surrounded by people that's actually within the countries, within the states, within the cities, and I'm talking to them about different globes and different maps, while they're talking to me about different streets and different locations within the city they're in, and then it's hard to connect. If you're a Sag moon, you kind of get what I'm talking about. And if you're a Libra moon, or an Aquarius moon, you kind of understand what I'm talking about also. But everybody can understand exactly what I'm talking about. But I'm talking about as far as broad thinking from the mind. Libra moons and Aquarius moons have their sextiles to the Sagittarius moon, so they have opportunities to actually think broad and too. You know what I'm saying? Libras will just do it in a way of they like to see both things of a broad situation. Aquarius is look at the situation as, how can this situation come to a closure in the future, and how can we uniquely change it for it can benefit all parties. Not just yours and his, yin and yang, but for yin and yang as a whole. You know what I'm saying? And the Sag in the middle is trying to figure out this as a whole. Now you have the two quincunxes that's on each side. I mean, not the quincunxes, but the the inconjunctions. You know what I'm saying? So that's on either side, which is Scorpio and which is what's up, mama? Which is Scorpio and Capricorn. So what happens here is Capricorn try to make sense of it. Anytime there's an inconjunction, that's a misunderstanding. Anytime there's a conjunction, there's a joining. Anytime there's a opposition, that's a give and receive, or it could be a tug of war. Anytime there's a sextile, that's an opportunity. Anytime there's a trine, that's a gift. Now, right here with the inconjunction, that's a misunderstanding. So Capricorns has a misunderstanding of a broad picture. So they try to make sense out of it, like practically, like physically, like so this is why they are broad. They show what they're into, like physically. You know what I'm saying? If they're into religion, they're going to do a lot of practical stuff to show you that they're into religion. They're going to go to church every Sunday. If they're into science, they're going to show you that they're into science. If they're into medical science, whatever like that, they're going to show you that they got herbal pills and this, that, and the third as a routine. And they're going to show you that as an example of that's what they're into. Now, because it's a misunderstanding of the bride, so they take the bride and bring it to down. So this is what makes them smart. And then when you got the other one, which is Scorpio, is the other inconjunction between the Sagittarius moon, is the moon sign with them has a misunderstanding, but it's in the water, it's in the feeling. So they take broad type Scorpio moons. They take broad type understanding and take it in, to the point that they feel like the universe is within them. So now if they can understand themselves, which is Scorpio is the self sign, and how the self can relate to another self, not how the self can relate to another, like Libra. You know what I'm saying? The Aries is here to, like with the Mars archetypes, they're here to understand themselves and bring it to others. And Scorpios are here to understand themselves to be themselves. So they can come across the way that they truly want to come across. Now, without no mistakes. Now, the misunderstanding that they may have about the broadened aspect of the situation. So how they get it in conjunction is they feel it inside, like it's within inside them, and if they can have control over how they see something or the perception or something, then they feel like they can have control over the situation that can apply whatever they feel like they control within themselves. So say, like, for an example, if a person who's nervous all the time and they want to gain control of their nervousness, Scorpio moons. So before they can be non-nervous in a public situation, they have to learn how to be non-nervous to themselves. So they may learn certain tricks, get on the internet, learn certain things, how to extract nervousness, and then once they're in a situation in the public that's going to cause them to be nervous, this is a situation that they can apply what they learned, or apply something that they tried to fix themselves and apply that to the situation now to see if it worked or not. And once they got it perfect for themselves, then they're able to present it and not feel guilty about it like they're doing something wrong. So once they present it, once they got it down packed within themselves, then they're able to present it in a situation that they may feel nervous to see if it stopped them from being nervous. So they may play on, that's how sometimes it comes through as manipulation with Scorpio's moons. They play on other people's actions to see if what they're talking about working. You know what I'm saying? They beat around the bush at certain things just to analyze to see how a person going to move, just to see if what they thought was going to happen, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of times this plays out into control issues, you know what I'm saying? But I just made nervousness as an example of how that actually trickles down in the first place. So this how they understand people as abroad. So going back to the yin and yang, now when we're talking about that now, this is how I was explaining them to the situation. But I'm finna add on the few sciences that I had to elaborate on, just because now I know what kind of conversations I could jump down on through mundane humans. So now I know how to break it down. Since I experienced that, I know how to break it down now. So this is like a little breakdown right here of how you can kind of understand how the yin and the yang is still, we do it every day. Like, we're learning about it. Yeah, like everybody is learning about it, and they're trying to say how does it help me, or how does this apply to me? Yeah, you learn about it. Look, this is what my channel for, because I break it down and tell you into the simplest forms. You can't get this science from nowhere else. You know what I'm saying? Of breaking it down in the simplest forms, of telling you what you're actually doing. Now, this is how it helps you. For the people who just who sit back and learn everything but still can't apply how it actually helps. This is how it helps you, because actually knowing this, you actually know what you're doing now. So now that you know what you're doing, you're able to take your mind and dictate your moves better. And because you know what you're doing, so you know how outcomes might come out now. You have a bunch of naive humans on Earth every day who just don't know what they're doing, and that they're learning this shit and doing it at the same time while they're learning it. So information that they're taking in may get processed through the wrong filter, and maybe the perception may be cloudy and may be understood wrong just based on your foundation of knowledge and consciousness in the first place. So this is what my channel is for. So how I'm going to break the yin and yang down and explain to people how you do it every day, I tell you it's like this. Now, they say in the reason why I was talking about at the beginning of beings and they're not knowing where to go and to the area to receive this information. Okay, that's in the yang realm. Now, in the yin realm. Now, in the yang realm, you know what I'm saying, they not taking the directions and proper precautions on Earth to help elevate themselves. So what does this mean? What does this mean? Now, when we say yang is light, yin is dark. Yang has direction. Yin has no direction. You know what I'm saying? Now on Earth, just being honest, see, I'm getting attacked. Being attacked. Don't listen to that person. But look, now look, yang. Now the shortest, the manifestation here on Earth, how you look at yang. Now, what brings light? Sun brings light. Now, what light you can see? You can see within the dark. Now, when you start to see, what can you actually see? You start to see things, places to go, the area and the space that you in. You can see what you're surrounded by. Now, on Earth, what's the shortest manifestation term on yin? Now, yin, darkness. You can't see. You know what I'm saying? People sleep. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It's the illusion realm. When you close your eyes, and daydream, you can see things. You're not actually seeing it through yang, you're seeing it through yin. And you're taking yang, the light, as an example of what you can see, and you're applying it within yin, where the things you can't see, but where your emotions and your feelings lie and survive at, and your spirituality and your consciousness and your soul live at. And you apply that to there, because they work. You need both. You can't have one without the other. You have beings that live in one. You have beings that live in one. You have colors that's made from one. You have colors that made from one. When they join together, it creates what all we see now. But as far as humans, this is how everything is going at one. You know what I'm saying? Now you're applying the yin to the yang. So now you coming up with concepts and stuff and within the yin realm, and you mixing up, creating. You like an artist. You mixing up and you creating the illusion of what you want to live in and what you want to see. Now, when you start to put that in action, you start to manifest that into the yang realm, to the point that you start to live in it. You start to actually see it. It start to come into fruition. You know what I'm saying? You start to see things that's going and the way how it's going and how it's supposed to be. Right. Now, when I was saying a person is lost, now when a person is like they couldn't find the area, like spiritually, now this person is lost. Now in the yin realm, there is no direction. So everyone is like sort of lost in the yin realm, but in yin realm there is no direction. Now when we talk about direction, that's a straight something out of yang. So when you can't actually compare the two. When they join together, it comes out as a person who can travel through the spirit realm. But when you split them apart, direction is strictly yang. Yin, strictly no direction. So when you need to find yourself, like, okay, for an example, now, this is how we do yin and yang every day. I'm about to bring it down now. I'm breaking it down to a regular form now. Okay, now, when a person say, when they're giving you directions to go somewhere, they may say, go down that way, go down. So when you go down, you're actually going towards a direction, to go towards a place. You putting that into action. That's complete yang realm, right? Now, when a person say, your was physical and things you could consciously see in the light, boom, 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 that's yang. Now, when we step into the yin realm, this is your emotions, how you can fit what you feel, things that's in the dark, things that you can't see. Now, in the smallest manifestation of it, the lowest perception of it, how it gets played out here on earth. Now in yang, when a person look at you and see that your emotions is upset or your feelings or something is messed up, they're gonna say, are you down? Why are you so down? Now in the yin realm, there's no direction. So when you say down, this means your spirit isn't uplifted, or your soul is down in hell, or is if you a religious person, or is just down in a muggy place where it's not supposed to be. So the only reason we're saying I'm comparing and talking about it like that is because I'm comparing it to the yang of how we see going down. You know what I'm saying? But down in yin, it's a completely different thing. You know what I'm saying? It's a completely different thing. So just for religious people to say you're going to hell, you're going down, they're fucking with your head, because they can say you're going down within the yang realm, but what they're actually saying is, once you die off from the yang realm and you go off back into the spirit, your soul realm, the realm that you can't see, they saying you're actually going down there too. You're going down there, because in reality, you're not taking your body to hell. So basically, they're saying your soul going down, and then they're giving it a sense of direction. So they're giving it a yang perspective in the yin realm to say that you're going somewhere in a place that has no direction. Your soul it lives in a place of yin. Yin has no direction. So without the body, you're in the yin realm. So if you're going down and they're giving it a direction like the yang realm, that's a contradiction already. To let you know there's no such thing as heaven and hell the way religious people explain it. There's small details in everything to let you know what it is and what it ain't. You just have to know how to bring it into simple forms, and don't let